on the day after Trump won the election in 2016. The emailer said, "I remember flying back with Donald on his plane the first weekend I went to visit you in Florida was the weekend he met Melania, and he kept on coming out of the bedroom saying, 'Wow, what a hot piece of ass.'" Yeah, I don't think they mentioned that in the Melania documentary.
The tension in the room was already running high before Jimmy Kimmel said a single word. Congressional discussions surrounding Jeffrey Epstein had been escalating for weeks. Missing records, unanswered questions, allegations that refused to stay contained within formal hearing rooms. As the controversy spread into broader public conversation, Kimmel decided to address it on his late-night platform. And what he delivered was less a comedy segment and more a carefully constructed piece of accountability journalism. He wasn't chasing laughs. He was building a case. And the central argument was impossible to ignore: the seriousness of what was being.
Last night, all of a sudden, Trump reversed course completely. He wrote, "As I said on Friday night to the fake news media, House Republicans should vote to release the Epstein files because we have nothing to hide. We have nothing to hide."
Kimmel didn't present Trump's connection to the Epstein controversy as a single isolated data point. He arranged it as a pattern: past associations placed alongside public statements, documented interactions laid out in sequence. Each piece connected to the next in a way that made continuity impossible to dismiss. The effect wasn't accusatory in tone. It was structural, and that made it land harder than any direct attack would have. The segment kept returning to the same central contrast: denial placed directly beside documentation. Statements rejecting any meaningful involvement were set against materials that told a noticeably different story.
Is the now infamous Epstein birthday letter that was released last month by the House Oversight Committee. Trump is suing the Wall Street Journal for $10 billion over this letter, which our doodler-in-chief denies he had anything to do with.
Kimmel made a point that cut through everything else in the segment. The absence of information is not neutral. When serious allegations are involved, missing records don't simplify the story, they become part of it. By focusing on the gaps in available documentation, Kimmel expanded the conversation beyond any single individual's behavior and into the way institutions handle or choose not to handle uncomfortable information. It was a deliberate move, and the audience felt the weight of it shift the room. Throughout all of it, Kimmel's tone stayed controlled and measured. He avoided direct accusations.
He was telling the truth. It isn't 100. It's 4,896, and we still have 3 million files to go. The award for most mentions in the Epstein files by a member of Trump's cabinet, he had a relationship with him, but claimed he severed ties in 2005 and called him disgusting.
By the time Kimmel wrapped the segment, its impact had nothing to do with any single explosive claim. The power came entirely from architecture, a carefully sequenced arrangement of statements, records, and responses that allowed the audience to follow the logic themselves and arrive at their own conclusions. Nobody was told what to think. They were shown how the pieces lined up, and that turned out to be far more persuasive than any editorial declaration could have been. What lingered after the broadcast wasn't a punchline or a moment of viral outrage. It was clarity. The kind that comes from watching contradictions organized into a coherent sequence and recognizing that the pattern has been visible all along. What started as commentary on a specific political controversy ended as something broader, a reflection on what accountability actually looks like when evidence exists. Denial persists, and transparency remains the one thing nobody in power seems willing to offer.